Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? Welcome back to a news Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have ourselves a match against him. Now, this match took place yesterday, and this match was quite incredible, quite intense. I enjoyed it very much, hope you guys will enjoy it as well. And yeah, let's go directly into it, shall we? So I'm gonna lead with my Azumarill, he's gonna lead with his Golem. He's gonna go for the early rocks, just in case stuff happen. I don't have a Rapid Spin, I don't have a default user, so it's definitely gonna go into his favor. This kind of remind me of Golem, you know, not really Golems, but Aerodactyls, just you know, early sacrificial Pokemon, just put up the rocks and go down. It's kind of crazy, but I just go for the Hawlucha just in case he does have like a strange custom berry Golem that isn't all that strange to begin with, but I didn't want to give him the opportunity to get damage on me, so playing it safe. I thought maybe Milotic is a bit too obvious of a switch on the Hawlucha, so he may think that I will predict. As he does go for the Toxic on the switch, makes an excellent play. Unfortunately, I do have the Lum. The strength of Lum is great. And Ice Beam is gonna come in next. Draco Meteor kind of fell short. Sadly, I do not have the focus energy on this one. I kind of like to have it, but I don't. And Milotic Crobat is a huge problem towards my team. Let me tell you how big of a problem this is. Sceptile can break Milotic. It's one of the few things that can one-shot, if not the only thing. Yeah, it's pretty much the only thing that can one-shot it, without a doubt. But then he's got Crobat to absorb the Grass Type move. So there is only that much I can do against those two when they're actually combined and you know, kind of supporting each other's weaknesses. Thinking about it, Manectric against his team would have absolutely run supreme. And you know, there's always this one Pokemon that your team is so weak to it. In my case, Milotic and Crobat are the things that my team kind of struggles towards, where his team would probably struggle towards my Manectric once the Golem would have been out of the picture. So as you can see, Iron Head there, of course, I was expecting the Taunt, and then I switch out to Sceptile, expecting this to go for the Recover, which is exactly what he does. But then I make a double switch because I know for a fact, in order for me to have any sort of chance in this game, I'm gonna need to make some double switches. Crobat expecting the Leaf Storm is a thing, so that's why I did switch out to this. And I'm pretty sure, you know, U-turn and all these things, he probably does have the Taunt, Roost, U-turn. There's no question he does have the Roost, and Braver most likely. Yeah, that's probably the case, which means he doesn't have the Cross Poison, he doesn't have any poison related moves, which means I can go for the Waterfall. Sadly, I was just playing it safe. Maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I should go for the Play Rough, but does, yeah, Crobat also resists that. And honestly, when you think about it, I guess it should still do a lot, because you know, it is still a Azumarill. But I thought to myself, he's probably gonna expect me to switch out and go for the Ice Beam, which is exactly what he does. Now, Play Rough does a considerable amount of chunk to where I'm really comfortable. You know, I'm thinking, well, he does have the Scald, he does have the Toxic, but there is only a question if he's truly gonna start risking it. So he does make the right approach, switches out directly into the Scizor. Unfortunately, the Play Rough doesn't do all that much, all that comfortable. It is stab, it is, you know, resisted. So I was kind of expecting a little bit more, but I had to play it safe. I was in no way in a point where I could go risky turns. I mean, there's a couple of turns I could play risky, but allowing him to go for the Recover on my Waterfall would have been pretty huge. So I switch out to my Hydreigon, expecting to go for the U-turn to see what kind of switch he will do, but he doesn't even decide to go for the U-turn. He just directly switches out to Milotic and fell short. Draco Meteor fell short. That is unfortunate. I cannot even see the HP bar for a second there. Wow, that is quite incredible. Milotic yet again, step 1. We were so close, but at this point it feels like it's just a far path, you know. It will probably take us forever to go up to that point. Oh man, so close. So switch out to Honedge. I'm like, okay, I'm in offensive pressure right now. I know I need to damage this. So I'm gonna go for the Sword Dance, hoping that the Scald is not gonna two-shot me, and based on the damage, is not gonna two-shot me. I just want to get some damage to see how much this does. It doesn't do all that much. Honestly, I was thinking he's gonna burn me on this turn. That's why I didn't bother going for the Sacred Sword or anything like that. Sadly, that was the case. He actually did not burn me, and yeah, just gonna go for Shadow Sneak again, hoping he's not gonna recover. I guess I could have Sword Dance expecting him to recover, so he didn't want to give me the opportunity to do so. Lefties take him up to more than half HP. So Sceptile comes in next. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Last time I did make the old prediction, switching out to my Azumarill. This time I'm gonna be playing it safe, but the Crobat comes in, and again, Crobat is a threat, 4 times resisting my grass type moves. Not to mention that Crobat is also faster than Sceptile. So I'm gonna need to switch out. Unfortunately, I feel like at this point, Hydreigon has done his toll. It kind of fell short when it mattered, but you know, may as well sack it when it's still time, and Hydreigon is gonna go down. So at the end of the day, it did something, I guess. Being a Deathfire is nothing to mess around with. It's always useful. And switching out to something more appropriate, so knowing he doesn't have a poison type Pokemon, I switch out to Azumarill as he's gonna go for the roost. I believe this turn is one of those turns that I do not expect him to switch out to his Milotic. I do playing it safe because, again, like I said, I want to give him in a more of a pressure state. I want to like give him thinking twice before he acts. So this turn, I know Waterfall is gonna take him down, and he's probably, if he starts roosting, that's fine. But he doesn't even bother going for the U-turn because I guess Aqua Jet is a thing. But still, what are the chances of me going for Aqua Jet there? Outside of maybe if he Brave Birds and getting that final recall. But still, he switches out to Scizor on my play rough, as I was expecting him to switch out to Milotic. That was an excellent play in his behalf. I definitely acknowledge that one. I switch out to Arcanine because I'm thinking, okay, you know what? This turn he's probably not gonna make the switch to Milotic. He's probably just gonna stay in. He does stay in, go for the Bullet Punch. Doesn't do any damage with the lefty recovery. I'm probably gonna like regain half of that damage he did to me. So I guess it did some damage, but nowhere near the amount that he needs in order to take me out any day soon. So I'm doing a double switch yet again, but this is actually a problem because he switches out to Froslass, surprisingly. I was not expecting him to switch out to Froslass out of all the things I have. I could have Flamethrower for all I know, but I guess Milotic switch was kind of to be expected, so he was totally sure and safe that I'm not going to go for it. So he did make the right play. Play rough misses, that was my mistake. I should have gone for the Waterfall, but I thought to myself, if he switches out to Milotic again, may as well go for the play rough. Unfortunately, play rough is not perfect accuracy like Waterfall, or at least 100% accuracy. Waterfall hits him on the next turn. It doesn't even take him down to his Focus Sash range. He probably does have the Focus Sash. So I'm just going to be playing it safe again with the Aqua Jet, just in case he does expect me again to expect him to switch out to Milotic. And yeah, that pretty much takes down his Froslass. But unfortunately, because that missed with play rough, we're at range with Brave Bird coming down from a Crobat can easily take me out. I'm thinking that, you know, he's not banded, so he's not all that powerful. So I'm thinking that without that miss on that Froslass, we would have been at the amount of HP where he would have not switched out to his Crobat. You know, because he would have not feel comfortable in truly one-shot me at the amount of range of HP I was at. Arcanine comes in next. I'm thinking, you know what? I believe I'm gonna need to playing it safe. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm just gonna be playing it safe with the Flamethrower. It doesn't really do all that much towards the Milotic. I guess I could make a double switch, but the problem with that is that Stealth Rocks are doing its toll. I'm just gonna go for the Morning Sun. I'm thinking, well, he could go for the Scald. Let's see how much actually Scald does to me. You know, just to kind of test it out. It does way too much damage. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe I should switch out. Maybe I should just decide to go for the Morning Sun again. I'm thinking he's probably going to decide to recover one of these days to try to gain most of his health. Just knowing how important this Pokemon is to him. And he does decide to go for the recover on the perfect moment. Because now I can probably Toxic Stalk him to a certain extent. Depending, but I can probably do it. Now unfortunately he also has the Toxic, as he did review against the Hydreigon, which means that my Morning Sun is not gonna be all that useful towards this. I mean, if he keep on going for the Scald, I can probably get him down to a reasonable amount where I can possibly handle him later. But if he's gonna go for the Toxic, then it comes down to a position where he does have the upper hand, because he's a water type against a fire type, and the Scald is gonna do way too much damage. And with the poison residual, the Morning Sun is just not gonna work all that well. And not to mention that the Morning Sun in general like this, it just cannot. So I'm switching out to my Sceptile right now. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm expecting him to Scald, but he does go for the Ice Beam. Incredible. That was a great move on his behalf. Take me out. I guess I should just stay in when I think about it, but I actually thought that you know, Arcanine is kind of important, especially against the Scizor as well as his Absol. Now the problem with this is that I'm kind of poisoned, so my defensive capabilities have been heavily crippled as well as Stealth Rock. So switch out to Arcanine. I really don't have anything to lose from this this performance. I'm gonna do in a couple of seconds. As you guys can see, I made a double switch. I expect him to go for the Scald instead of Ice Beam. I'm fully aware the Sky Attack is probably going to fail, taking him out. And, you know, I just want to feel that with the Poison, the final Poison that's going to do, maybe I can possibly take him out. But then again, who am I kidding? That probably does run the Marvel scale, which means I already did boost its defense. But it's the only way I can handle it, surprisingly. You know, the Poison Stall is very important. I didn't really expect to get a flinch because that's something I've, Sky Attack is something I've never really used. I don't remember using it. Maybe in some certain situation back in the 4th generation, but I don't remember. Completely get the whole flinch part out of my picture. I didn't even know it could flinch. So that took me by surprise. Scizor unfortunately is going to come in and take me out with a Bullet Punch. I guess when you think about it, I mean, maybe I should have just switched out to Hawlucha and just go for the Sky Attack. But again, I completely forgot that I can flinch. I'm not even sure how much percentage there is to flinch your opponent with that move. Because, yeah, you know, something that you don't expect and it happens. So, Bullet Punch, I know he's probably just going to be playing it safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Morning Sun. I know pretty much the game has been locked away. Because there is really not much I could do. I'm Poison Stall pressured, and not to mention he also has the Crobat that can roost away if anything else, and it can pretty much stall Poison. You know, it can easily do that. It does have the speed, it does have the bulk, and not to mention that Absol at the amount of HP I'm at, I'm even at the amount of HP where he can possibly just destroy me. So he's gonna switch out to Crobat. He's just gonna be playing a bit of a more of a stalling game than necessary. Like I said. There is no Intimidate on the Absol. He could have just switched out to it and just playing it offensive. There's really not much to do. I could go for the Will-O-Wisp, but again, as I'm also poisoned, I would have not appreciated taking any other damage he would have been dishing out. After that, you know, even the little damage would have dished out a lot when you actually include the poison damage. So I'm gonna go for the Flame Throw again. He goes for the Roost. Again, I feel like this. I feel like it's the right approach, but at the same time, I don't feel it's really necessary to stall in order to win, especially after the stuff I mentioned a few seconds ago. So, Brave Bird for that late game, and he also gets a crit. Funnily enough, I'm not too sure if the crit mattered. It probably didn't, but then again, it depends on his EV attack. But that's gonna be the game for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. A great game, Tim. I had a very good time with this one. So if you did enjoy it, be sure to give a like. Thank you very much, guys, for your continued support. And until the next one, take care. Peace.